Alright, hi everyone, welcome to today's video. Oh god, it's bright as hell out here. Oh man. On the date it's been recorded, it is Sunday, May 5th of 2024. Happy Cinco de Mayo. I don't remember exactly why they call it Cinco de Mayo, but I can definitely tell you it's not because of Mexico's independence. Everyone likes to say this, oh, it's Cinco de Mayo, Mexico's Independence Day. No, it is not. Mexico got their independence from Spain sometime in September of 1821. To where they controlled the vast majority of the North American continent until the Mexican-American War, in which we controlled the vast majority of the North American continent. Actually, the vast majority of the North American continent up until 1848 was really split between us and Britain, that controlled the most territory in North America. And what country today has the most territory in North America? Well, it's the second largest country in the world. Canada, right up north. And that's besides the point. So, I'm just out on a walk. I was gonna go do a Pokestop walk, but since it's supposed to storm at some point today, and I don't know when it's supposed to storm, I don't want to risk being all the way out to like downtown and having it rain. So I'm like, okay, next best thing would probably be to just take a couple laps around the neighborhood. Because, I mean, why not? It's my day off. I don't go back to work until tomorrow. And, that way I get out and do something. That looks like a 80s box TV. Or it might be a 70s box TV, I don't know. I doubt that it works. I highly doubt it, but you never know. Also, I don't know how long it's been sitting out here. I'm pretty sure it did rain a little bit last night. Which, I don't know that either. Oh, God. So, okay, let's see here. I feel like there are some important things I should bring up and kind of keep you guys up to date on. Do like my own life and like the current state of our national politics ish. So yeah, I think what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start out by talking about stuff in my own life as of now, and then If I feel like it, we'll kind of briefly go over some stuff in like national politics. I keep hearing that sound. It makes me think it sounds like a damn bat. I remember hearing it in the house at one point, like a week ago. I'm like, don't tell me that we have a bird in the attic again. I mean, before I moved back in the house, Mom said she had to lure an actual bat out of the house. I'm like, what the hell? But yeah, anyways, what do I have in store going on in my life right now? Well, more or less, nothing too drastically changed that I feel like I should go over. Okay, so they spray painted half court for basketball, huh? But not real. I wouldn't even say half court. I think a 3-point line. It's even got the lines for like a free throw. Which is quite surprising. But anyways, not much has really changed in my life. I do, however, have something that is kind of currently in the works. No, it has nothing to do with YouTube. Yes, it does kind of deal with what I do in my free time, and yes, it does pertain to one of my main interests. There's already a few people that already know what my whole deal and plan is. My mom and Katrina were the first to know, and then I took it down to my close friends, and even got my manager involved too. Let's just say that it pertains to my eventual future career. But yeah. If everything plays out, I should be ready, lock and load to announce it by this time next year. But I don't know. And the thing that I'm not going to try to spoil won't officially start until 2026. That's the plan. But yeah, I can't spoil anything. That's my thing. Like, I want to say what it is, just so that way you guys know, but I don't want to spoil anything because it's like a surprise. It's pretty cool, but do I want to spoil it? That's my thing. So that's all I'm willing to share for right now. If you want to, for those of you that do know what I'm talking about, please don't say anything in the comments. But for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, go ahead and make your guesses and predictions in the comments below. And probably early sometime next year, that is when I'm going to fully announce and reveal the answer. So you guys still got time to figure it out, but I mean, you know, okay, so there's that out of the way. And now we're going to kind of briefly talk about the current state of our national politics, which is, I guess, a little bit in disarray, I guess you could say. So, some point this week, Congress is supposed to raise a question on whether or not if the current House Speaker, Republican Mike Johnson of Louisiana, should be removed from office. Now, keep in mind that there have been threats of past speakers of being removed from office. And in terms of a full attempt, it's only happened twice so far. The first was in 1910, in which it was unsuccessful. It was unsuccessful, and then the then speaker, I don't remember who it was, announced to the House that he will resign, and he ends up resigning. The second time it happened, that it was brought up that the House actually got to vote, was back in October of last year. Yep, it was then Speaker Kevin McCarthy, Republican from California. And, well, let's just say that Florida Republican Matt Gaetz brought up a question like, hey, McCarthy he pretty much denied everything that we were promised. He refused everything that he promised. And he along with 7 other Republicans, as well as the entire Democrats, like every single one of the Democrats, decided to remove Kevin McCarthy as Speaker, in which it was successful. It was the first time that the Speaker was voted out of office, and, well, more like ousted by Congress. And so McCarthy was removed from Speaker. And, well, ever since the 9/11 attacks, since 2003, the House Speaker is required to submit a secret list of members of Congress who act as the chair, known as Speaker pro tempore. And in the event of when the Speaker isn't there, or by death or removal or resignation, the Speaker pro tempore, the first person on the list, or whoever the Speaker pro tempore is, will act as the chair until a new Speaker election would be held. So when McCarthy was removed from office. First person on that Speaker pro tempore list was Republican Patrick McHenry of North Carolina, also known as Congressman Bowtie, because he always wore bow ties, was first on the list. And he presumed the duties of acting speaker, which is known as Speaker pro tempore. And he was the presiding officer during the most recent speaker elections that happened throughout the month in October. And so after 4 rounds of voting, with Republicans picking either the obvious next in line, Steve Scalise, who is the current majority leader, Republican from Louisiana, my congressman, Republican Jim Jordan of Ohio, and the aforementioned Republican Mike Johnson of Louisiana. They picked Mike Johnson to be the new speaker, and he has been Speaker of the House pretty much ever since. Now, as of right now, at the time this is being recorded, there are currently 3 Republicans that want to remove Mike Johnson as Speaker. Only 3 as of right now. I don't know if it changed, if there's like another one that joined the fray, or one that said that, what, no, this is a horrible idea, I'm backing down in support. But as of right now, as far as I know of, there are 3, and they're all Republicans. You have Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia, Thomas Massie of Kentucky, and Paul Gosar of Arizona. Yeah, the one who's going to lead the charge this time, you guessed it, Marjorie Taylor Greene. And what's funny is that former President Trump actually supports Mike Johnson as Speaker. And even though Marjorie Taylor Greene is a full-on support and ally of Trump, she's going to follow him to the very end. It's just, I don't know. I don't know. She's got a long way to go until she realizes that she made a grave mistake and doesn't want to. She is one the hard writers that kind of didn't want McCarthy as Speaker, because as you may remember, back in January of last year of 23, there were 20 Republicans at least that originally didn't want McCarthy as Speaker. Because those other 20 Republicans chose, they wanted either someone like Byron Donalds of, what state is he from? I think Florida. And Hell, even the vast majority of them wanted my congressman, Jim Jordan of Ohio. And at one point, someone even mentioned Trump to be on there. But technically, according to the Constitution, the House is free to choose the House can literally choose anyone to be Speaker of the House. But there are some kind of qualifying, mostly unknown requirements in order to become House Speaker. You have to be, at least 35 years old. You have to be a naturally born U.S. citizen. The only exception to that one is if you're born abroad, then one of your parents has to be at least a U.S. citizen. And you have to live in the U.S. for at least 14 years. Do those requirements sound familiar? Yes. It is the same requirements as this to become President of the United States. Reason for that is because, the Speaker of the House is, in the line of succession to the presidency, which means that in the eventual event that the president and vice president die in office, the Speaker of the House would then become the next president of the United States, regardless of what party. And most of the time, most House Speakers are mostly not of the same party as the original president. I mean, they might start out like in the start of a presidency, but it'll drastically switch to the other. Which is why in the second half of Trump's presidency, we had Nancy Pelosi as our House Speaker. And during the second half of Biden's, we have, originally Kevin McCarthy and now Mike Johnson. Which, they flipped. Oh, man. So, yeah. So, Marjorie Taylor Greene is going to be taking the helm some point this week about it. Who knows when. But all I can say is that if it does happen, then we're going to have to be on watch about that. Well, let's see here. Pretty sure the House meets tomorrow, or no, maybe that's the Senate. Because here's the thing. Either House of Congress. Here's the thing about when it comes to having like the full body meet. Either house is allowed to take a 3-day break anytime they want. But if one house wants to have a 4-day break, it has to be approved by the other house, which 9 times out of 10 would not work out. Especially in the event of a split Congress, which means that one party controls one house and the other party controls the other. In this case, our current Congress, which is mostly controlled by the Republicans in the House, and the Democrats control the Senate. It's highly unlikely that if the Senate wanted to take 4 days off, the House would not allow it. But see, here's the thing, especially when it comes to the Senate can have 3-day breaks anytime they want, as long as something happens on the 4th day. And most of the time it's the all famous pro forma session, which means that, you know, the Senate or House or whatever will gavel in for the day, announce that the last day's proceedings are approved by the chair, the Speaker or President Pro Tempore will appoint someone to take the helm of the chair for the day. They lead the body in the Pledge of Allegiance, and then they announce that the House or Senate stands adjourned until whenever the next day they decide to. Wow. So yeah, that's pretty much how a pro forma session pretty much works. It also comes the same way when it comes to deciding important issues, like appointing a new or approving a nominee to the Supreme Court, or a new cabinet secretary, or something along those lines. It's pretty much a constitutional loophole. Unless if they make a constitutional amendment that prevents pro forma sessions, which honestly they probably should. Especially in terms of the Senate, the president can't make recess appointments. Because, Congress has 2 seasonal recesses. One in the winter, for the holiday season, and one during the summer, which usually takes place around August. Well, that's usually a haven of pro forma sessions, since most of everybody is back in their home states on vacation or whatever. Alright, so that's all for now. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video, whatever it may be.